Violent protests at the biggest iPhone factory in China causing big problems for Apple. A Bloomberg report this morning says the tech giant will face a production shortfall of close to 6 million iPhone Pro devices this year as a result of the situation in China. Joining us now is Gene Munster, Loup founder and managing partner. How much of what you know do you have a high degree of confidence in, Gene, that you know the full story? And does anybody?
I think my confidence is about 30%. We're obviously working behind China's censorship. Some of the reporting has been limited. What we do know is the big brush is that these protests are unique, the magnitude, the scope of them, and it is noteworthy. We can try to frame in, that's news to me on that 6 million number. It's the number that I have is a little similar to it in terms of the impact. To answer your question is, what do we know? How do we frame this in for Apple? Is that the iPhone 14 Pro production, if you assume that it's impacted by 1 week, that would be either because of the COVID shutdowns or some of these protests at Foxconn, that's going to impact about 1.5% of revenue for the December quarter. So it is measurable. If you figure it's 2 weeks, it's 3%. Pretty simple, straightforward math. That we do know. We also know there is a history of when these supply chain issues have hit Apple production, that they have missed numbers or it has been negative impact in a quarter. In the subsequent quarter, they typically get those sales back. So to answer your question is lots of unknowns, but there is a clear arc here. And the arc is that there is turmoil, obviously, around iPhone production in the March quarter. I would just add one other piece to this, too, is I don't think these production issues, I don't think these shutdowns are a concern for Tim Cook. I do believe what keeps him up at night is a much bigger issue, and this gets to something that we have better clarity on. And the bigger issue is that China is, they are determined to be self-sufficient, to lead from their perspective. And what that means is that we have issues like tariffs, we have issues like production supply chain, these COVID lockdowns, the protests. And what keeps Tim Cook up and potentially even Elon Musk up at night is trying to navigate what is a longer, more complicated picture around production in China.
And there's so many moving parts. That's the thing that's kind of mind-boggling, all interrelated, too, because you don't know how long the COVID response, you don't know what the COVID response is going to be in the first place. At this point, it's still lockdown. So you don't know how long that takes. You don't know how that reconciles itself. Then you throw in the wild card of these protests. And that's got, you just broaden the whole discussion to the entire CCP and everything else that goes up. Maybe not yet in China, but we always are quick to say, I wonder if this is the beginning of something. I don't know how you'd... And then the third unknown is that you really don't know what you don't know in terms of what actually leaks out that's accurate from China. So it seems like a huge black box. Should you sell the stock?
No, I don't think you should sell the stock. I want to talk about some of those unknowns, and that layered approach too is yes, there are unknowns, and I think that the bigger issue, again related to these unknowns, is how these companies play this for the long term. And I think if you had a view that Apple was going to be committed to doing the majority of their production in China over the long term, you may consider selling Apple stock. I think in this case they're making some measurable moves to diversify away. As they give their supplier list out, it comes out a year late, so we just got the 2021 supplier list. And basically, just over 50% of Apple's revenue comes from products produced in China. It's down from low 60s in 2020, so it's going down. And notably is that of the 150 new manufacturers that were added to the list, 80% were from outside of China. And so I think that speaks to Apple's commitment to starting to diversify away from the region, too. And then the question more about the near term, that's the long term. I think the more important question, the near term, it was, I think, a strategically wise move by the CCP on Saturday or the weekend to try to say that there may be some loosening of some of the COVID restrictions that may take a year to get there. But when it comes to protests and your point about are these protests going to escalate, I suspect that they, if I was going to guess, I think they probably start to moderate because of that strategic move.
Right, because it takes protesters.